The solution is this, right? Improving your intuition. And what I mean by that is that a lot of women, just like you said, how you having sex with this man constantly, and it's just not going nowhere. You ain't no talks of it going nowhere. He ain't showing no consistency, no nothing. But you consistently giving that ass to him, despite
for
him not
5
showing
years
consistency on the
sometimes.
back
5
end.
years, 6
Right.
years, 8
So
years, 10
right.
years.
So again, what I mean is this, right? We have to practice intuition. How realistic is it that this man is going to take me serious as a wife, or this man is going to actually marry me? Like, what steps?
Why don't we ever preach just keeping your legs closed?
It's not realistic.
Let me tell you this. It's so realistic. It is so realistic. People just don't want to do it. It's realistic. You can do it. You have people who are virgins. They do it. It's other people who do it. It's realistic.
Look here, Sam. People preach fitness all day long. I know Lauren do
I work out every day. I walk
lot of
every
working
single
out.
day.
You know what I'm saying? People preach fitness. People preach eating right and all that every day on all platforms everywhere. That type of behavior is encouraged. But how many people actually follow through consistently?
Listen. So my question is,
how do we? If it feels good, you keep doing it. Even though you know eating healthy is going to be a sacrifice, so you keep eating bad because it feels good.
I was going to say,
you go to the grocery store and you get all the healthy stuff because you like, I'm gonna start on Monday.
Yeah.
And then you
let me hurry up and eat these cookies real quick before I start.
After you done left the grocery store.
Look, you sex fiends, you calm down, simmer down. Listen, so
sex fiends.
Look. What? I mean, they just like, you gotta have it. It's like food.
It is.
I mean, when you're with the right person, sure. You know, but
once you have it.
Listen, but too much food is not good. Just like too much of, when you're sitting here sexing a man who's not marrying you, it's just as bad too. Like, what does that lead you? It's a bad outcome. And so, if we're sitting here saying that, it's bad because I think we can all collectively agree that it's bad for women to have kids out of wedlock. The only way to stop kids from being born out of wedlock is to take away what they're doing, and it's the sex it's the sex. Because let me tell you one thing about sex. Men aren't marrying you. So you're not getting what you're looking for through the sex.
Getting exercise.
So you're not, so men are not marrying you. Why would they when they get the cow free? You understand? Mm-hmm. Why would they? You're giving them everything without having to marry you. So that's one issue. And then you having sex with the same person over and over again, you're increasing your chance of being pregnant. Oh, so you're going to rely on abortion. Okay.
So you can rely on safe sex, but continue.
No. So what is safe sex? Okay, let's talk about safe sex. What does safe sex look like?
But if you already know
because I want to see how safe sex. Listen, I want to talk about how safe sex is. Unless you're talking about a condom, let's talk about how safe sex is.
Well, why are you having sex with somebody that you haven't vetted properly if they want to get married or want to marry you anyway? So then why would you even go further to have unprotected sex to then get pregnant and have a baby?
So my question is, so you're saying, because we've had a conversation before and it said, okay, once he's not used a condom, then so to vet means that it's going to lead to something. And there's only 2 people who've been married on the platform. So undoubtedly, we're not vetting correctly. And I'm pretty sure anybody who's going into a relationship that has sex with a man thinks that at one day he may be the guy of their dreams, blah, 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 blah. But unfortunately, that has not worked out for us.
But have you talked about marriage, though? Or are you just dating and having sex and the marriage topic hasn't even come up? That's what I'm saying.
So listen. So I talk about sex. We're talking about a general public.
Well, we're not talking about each other in
okay. So what I'm saying, and I understand completely what you are saying, but what I'm looking at is the overall statistics of the thing. 48% of Black men will marry. 48%. That's not even half. Okay, because you're out here giving out the twat. They don't have to. I personally feel like I don't care. If you, I don't feel like you should be getting anything. You can use this free of charge. If you don't have a wife, you don't have a wife. Why does a person? Why are you giving your body up to a man who won't even? He doesn't even see you to be his wife.
But see, that right there is the problem more so than the sex. Like if I had to give a solution, realistic solution, right? Because we can sit up here and say, yeah, abstinence. That's the answer, right? But it's gonna go in one ear,
So what's the
and it's gonna go out the
solution?
other. But the solution is this, right? Improving your intuition. And what I mean by that is that a lot of women, just like you said, how you having sex with this man constantly, and it's just not going nowhere. You ain't no talks of it going nowhere. He ain't showing no consistency, no nothing. But you consistently giving that ass to him, despite him not showing consistency on the back end.
5 years, 6 years, 8
so,
years, 10
right.
years.
So again, what I mean is this, right? We have to practice intuition. How realistic is it that this man is going to take me serious as a wife, or this man is going to actually marry me? Like, what steps is he showing me that this is going to happen, right? So if you're not seeing consistency, and let's just be honest here, a lot of the men that women have sex with outside of a relationship, he wasn't consistent from the door. That's just because he's a highly desired man. He's handsome, probably talking to other women, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is why he's not committing to you. But right, but that doesn't stop y'all from giving him the sex consistently, despite the fact that he's showing no type of step or no type of, damn, I'm at a loss for words, but no type of, initiative in terms of being in a serious relationship with you. So I think that more so needs to be taught more so than the sex, because the sex, I mean, let's just be honest here. You can make a man wait as long as you want to, but like I say all the time, men have Marine sniper patience when it comes to getting that ass. So if that's what I'm there to do, after I get that ass, you made me wait 2 years. Sure, cool. Because the whole 2 years, I'm going to be messing with other chicks while I'm talking to you. And that's perfectly fine, right? But when I get that ass, if that was my intention, I'm gone, right? So what good is waiting really mean, right? But goes back to what I said about intuition, right? Because during these 2 years, you know what I'm not going to be? Consistent. I'm not going to be texting you consistently. I'm not going to be calling you consistently. I'm not going to give a damn about anything regarding you that I don't directly benefit from. These are things that we need to teach our women to kind of catch early. And if they catch that early, they'll waste a lot less time. You won't be in a situation for 5 years having sex with a man who has shown no type of initiative to marry you. That's the problem.
But Trill, would you not agree if the rates are so low at marriage, that's most men right now? Just looking at stats, something's not working.
Yeah.
So if you're saying let's fix the out of wedlock, we got to get more marriages. So how do we do that?
How do we
be an uncomfortable situation to fix the situation?
Well, that's going to be hard too, because you have cohabitating situations that are on a rise as well. So that goes along with your point. It's going to be difficult to do that when you have an alternative. You know what I'm saying? So you have an alternative lifestyle, and that brings you some of the same benefits of a marriage without necessarily taking the leap. So you're in that in between. And some men, especially, I believe, are the most comfortable in that position. I think women want to get married, but they're willing at sometimes to put that on the back burner to just be in the relationship without necessarily, holding foot to the fire. Like I said, I will always say, I can talk about this from a perspective of learning after the fact. So my goal is for the next person hearing my story not to make the same mistakes that I did. Mine happened to work out, and I married my baby's father. Well, my husband, he's not my baby father anymore, but I did it backwards, and it didn't necessarily. The odds were against me that it was going to work out that way. But with that being said, one of the things that I knew I was strong about, just because of my upbringing, was that marriage was a non-negotiable for me. And I had that conversation with him early on. Like, I wasn't pressing him to get married or anything like that, because we were young. But one of the things that I did say was I do plan on being married one day. Either that's going to be with you or somebody else, but I am going to get married. I never mentioned anything about marriage to him again after that one conversation. That was my standard. And we ended up getting married. It worked out. But I think as women, we need to have certain standards. I mean, like Trill, I agree. We're going to have sex. Once once you let the cat out the bag, it's hard to put it back in,
Put that
right?
kitty up.
Yeah,
Put that
yeah,
kitty up.
it's hard, especially if it's
Stop running that
kept
kitty
really well. You
down.
know, it's hard to
Let
put it
that
back.
kitty have a break. Clean that kitty.
No. So in knowing that if your goal is to lead to the altar, then you have to have some other standards in place if you know you're going to be having sex.
So again, if we're talking about single parenthood, because when stats come out, they don't care that you are living together. All they go is say she had a child out of wedlock. Okay. So whether you cohabitate, whatever you say you want to do, if you're going to complain about the wedlock stats, we're talking about, are we only seeing only 48% of Black men should be having kids right now? Is that what we're saying?
What we're saying is that the entryway to us getting consistent sex is too low. That's what Miss Taken is saying. Just in turn, even with the cohabiting situation, there's nothing wrong with that. I agree with living with somebody before you get married. But the when is important here, right? Are we engaged when we living together? Or are we just moving in because, hey, man, money a little tight. It'll be a little more convenient for us to move in together. Let's just, move in to save money. And then 5 years later, again, it ain't been no talks or no marriage, and ain't been no talks or nothing serious, and we just living together, having sex consistently. Sure, in those situations, man, gonna be way less likely to marry you. Why? Because I'm getting consistent benefits from you without even having the conversation about marriage. And that's what happens most of the time, which leads to kids out of wedlock. Because let's just be honest here. Most kids are not coming on earth from just a one-off of sex. That's not how that works. Now, it does happen, sure, but that's not how that works. What happens is that you consistently having sex with this person over and over and over and over, unprotected, and more times than not, with not even a conversation of commitment. And then it happens that way, right? But which is why I say sex is gonna happen, sure. But practice safe sex. We ain't saying hit people raw, none of that. But what I'm saying is this: the consistency in which he's getting benefits from you without a requirement or without any boundary set is more so the problem than the sex itself. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'll take that. Listen here, honey. You say close them legs, that chat go fire, baby. No, close your legs. We gotta have it. But they be the main ones saying marriage doesn't benefit a man. What's the point of getting married? I'm not getting married. Like, you can't have it both ways. It's either you don't want to get married and then the wedlock because you still having sex, you want to have kids, but you don't feel like marriage is beneficial. So the wedlock rates are gonna go, kids out of wedlock rates are gonna go up. You can't have it both ways. So we gotta figure it out.